been many supporters of Harry and Meghan over the years come out, basically said leave them alone, all that sort of stuff. Even when at the height of that terrible, embarrassing situation where Meghan decided to do the fake curtsy to the world inside her own Netflix series about how she first met the Queen. And as many people realised, the actual story was complete rubbish, but consequently Meghan went ahead with it, and still she had her supporters. But as we've seen recently, those supporters have been few and far between, and Meghan herself has realised that even though she's returned back to social media, not many of those celebrity chums, the ones that she thought were going to change the world alongside her, well, are supporting her. And this is really where it gets absolutely interesting, because right now, more than ever, people are simply turning against Meghan, not necessarily Harry. You get the picture. Let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you today. Thank you so much for taking the time out in the very heart of London's St Pancras station. It's nice, isn't it? I haven't been here for years, and it was wonderful because it was one of those traditional stations, but sadly they make everything a little bit more modern, and I think it kind of loses it. Do you know what I mean? Loses it, it's kind of strange. If you do, of course, remember, this was the area where the Spice Girls filmed their very first pop video, and that became very famous indeed, didn't it? Wannabe. In fact, I think they probably helped people think, what a fantastic building, maybe we should do something to save it. It's a very posh hotel now, suite next door, £10,000, yes, a night. What, you mean you've booked? Well, we're in the wrong game then. How do you earn that money? Amazing though, can you imagine paying £10,000 a night for a suite? I know, I just can't believe it. People do though. Now let's get back to your royal story of the day. You see, as I said, Meghan and Harry, big problems, right? This woman, Catherine Ryan, came out against Meghan Markle, basically saying that she thought that suddenly she'd lied to Harry, right? Now here's where it gets really interesting. Catherine Ryan for years had been very woke on everything, leave people alone, all of that sort of stuff. She bills herself as a comedian, and I have to be honest, I've never seen her live, but the clips I've seen are not necessarily my cup of tea. I'm a big fan of female comedians, and maybe this is the modern day, the Carol Burnett's, the Lily Tomlins, Joan Rivers, Phyllis Diller. They can do a terrific job. This to me seems a little bit of man bashing, to say the least, but Catherine has had something of a following. However, of late, of course, she comes up with all sorts of headlines that, a little bit like this, apparently the Me Too movement, but she can't say who it was. But, gets a few headlines and people talking about her. You see what I'm saying? And of course, she needs to be talked about right now because she has a tour. Now, there are some dates that are already sold out, there are plenty of others that are not. Hence the reason suddenly she's decided, in many people's eyes, to come out and talk about the hot topic that gets her noticed. That's right, what she really felt about Meghan Markle. Now, the idea about this suddenly just changing tack does a lot of negativity for her rather than Meghan. Seemingly because, of course, not many people knew who Catherine Ryan really was. Over here, she's only really famous for starring on TV and a discount goopy type thing that you got some money off. That was the crux of it, you know what I'm saying? So once again, I'm not taking sides, I'm not part of a sugar thing or anything like that, but what I'm saying is, it's all very well, isn't it, for years to say, oh no, I'm a huge fan, the media should leave them alone, etc. The minute that you need something yourself, the minute that you need to raise your profile to sell tickets, suddenly you've had an afterthought. I thought that perhaps Meghan Markle wasn't being exactly truthful. But for years, apparently, she was. It's funny, isn't it, really, what desperate times actually do to a girl. Now, I wish Catherine all the very best, but does anybody truly believe anything that she says? Neil Sean, St Pancras, London.